Hi everyone. So I have today with me Minna, who is a yoga teacher and a personal trainer, and we'll be talking about a lot of questions that you've sent me regarding fitness. So thank you very much, Amina, for joining us today, and very warm welcome.
Thank you. Hello,
Great.
everyone.
It's really great to have you. So, Mina, as you know, in the lockdown times, the pandemic and everything, I think with the gyms shut down, people have been really wondering, like, what is it that they can do? And, with the minimal equipment and everything. So we'll dive into it. But, like, first of all, from you, how did your journey into personal training and yoga started? So tell us a little bit about that.
Oh, yes. Well, I've been practicing yoga over 10 years,
Okay.
15 maybe. I don't even remember when I started. It was actually when I was pregnant for my son. He's now
Okay.
16, so that's when
Yeah.
I started my
Hmm.
yoga journey, and then eventually started to teach it, and it was quite natural because I was in one studio and they asked me to
Hmm.
start teaching in there,
Yeah.
and then that followed many years of teaching yoga
Hmm.
only.
Hmm.
And then because of different kind of problems I had
Okay.
with my body, like I wanted to start to do some running and more of endurance type of training,
Mhm.
and I started to have some problems, like pain in the hips and different things. So I went to do more of the body weight training kind of things and movement and mobility courses, and I became an instructor in that. And once I got a little bit more information, then I got really into the personal training
Mhm.
because first of all, I wanted to learn more about what's causing my own problems and what can help me,
Yeah.
and then also to help others through that. And yeah,
Good. Okay. No, sounds great.
basically.
Yeah, yeah. I think when you somebody starts with their own experience and how they want to learn for their helping themselves, that's how it becomes more passionate and then you want to help
Mm.
others as well. I think that kind of drives it. Yeah, so that's great to know. So yeah, the first question that came about was how to introduce small workouts in a daily routine given the people are not able to go to the gyms. Not everyone is. So how would you say, like, you could kind of how to get that motivation? People usually struggle with that, right? And what do you
Yeah.
think is a good start for somebody who is not really used to working out that much?
For somebody who's not used to working out, I mean, it depends so much. The first thing when you asked that question from me, I was thinking about that. It depends so much.
Mm.
A lot of things, obviously. It depends on what kind of a lockdown are you in. Like, we just came back from Malaysia, where we had a 3 months lockdown where we couldn't go outside. Like, basically, one person from the family could go to the shop, and we couldn't go for walks or runs or anything, and all
Mm.
the gyms were closed. And I was actually I had my ACL, my knee operation done during that time, so
Okay.
I had to start doing exercises at home myself. Um, then, but so it all depends so much whether you can go outside or not, and basically what do you enjoy doing. I think that
Yeah.
would probably be the first thing to write down. Maybe just think
Mm.
about what kind of things you would enjoy doing the most. Would that be more of a yoga or body weight, or just run or walk, or
Mm.
go to the forest, wherever you can,
Mm.
if you're able to do that.
Yeah.
And the second thing would be also to look at your own schedule if you're working online, that, and with your family stuff and everything, that when could you get those kind of gaps? What would be the
Mm.
most natural way for
Mhm.
you to put it in the schedule, kind of, and make that a routine?
Yeah.
Because when you are working remotely, I think what I've heard from my own clients, what they've done, for example, is that even though you're not leaving the house, you
Mhm.
don't have to, that they, for example, put the clothes on and they go for a walk first thing in the morning
Yeah.
after breakfast, for example, or even before breakfast, almost like going to work.
Yeah.
That they do that to get themselves in a different state of mind. Like,
Mm.
you have that journey to go to the work, almost like leaving the house, and that's already gets your fluids going.
Okay.
And so if you enjoy doing things like that, then you can put it in a schedule,
Mm.
kind of go in the, if you enjoy going in the morning, some people don't, so
Yeah.
then maybe it would be in the evenings, or something like that. And then if you enjoy doing things at home and you can't, for example, go outside, or the weather is, bad, then there's tons of things online. I mean, if you're just into doing Zoom classes, I mean, I've been just thrilled to see, like, I almost felt bad about having a knee operation during this time, because all the teachers that I've followed, online all over the world, they're all keeping Zoom classes at the moment.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's so much inspirational teachers keeping classes about everything and about anything, So that's one option, but it's obviously not for everyone. But then YouTube is full of different kind of small workouts. I mean, it doesn't need to be much. There's so much evidence of that it's much more beneficial to put in these small workouts throughout the day, especially if you're working with the computer, sitting down, like getting up, having a 5 minutes workout, doing squats, doing lunges, doing some kind of a stretching, and then after a while do it again. So it's much more beneficial than doing like hardcore workout 3 times a week. So that just to for the overall health. And I used to do, for example, in Malaysia, I used to have my water bottles for weights and and to do do things with those. I mean, you can do so many workouts like body weights, but then add something that you lift in books, whatever, and cushions to use for yoga. So I would just like try to write down for yourself, like what time of the day would be good for you, not to leave it too open, because then it's easy just to leave. So kind of plan it in advance that, I like to go outside in the mornings, and maybe your family will survive without you for an hour every morning, or even half an hour. So you can just do that, And then when you're working with the computer, sitting down, just whenever you finish any kind of a meeting or something, just try to get up, get yourself moving a little bit, do some stretching, do a little bit of something. So that's better than nothing. And eventually it will add up, if you do that after every meeting you have throughout the day, then it comes quite a lot. So it doesn't have to be so intense. The main thing is that you keep your body moving and you feel that, you're not getting too stiff. And just find some workouts online for shoulders, neck, back, opening the chest. And there's lots of, and if you don't feel like doing too intense workouts either, or too like body weight training, there's lots of yoga, yin yoga, just to relaxation. If you feel as though that, you're getting really stressed and all of that because of what's going on. So, it's also kind of recognizing what you need, but basically what you enjoy doing, that's more important than anything. Just just get yourself moving, do something, and plan it in advance.
I think, I know that's really right. And also, it's also about how we recondition our minds. And I'm like, personally for me, for years, I didn't have to do any exercise. I was very skinny, very young, like, the whole time I was really skinny, didn't have to do any exercise, never went to the gym for almost like 28, 29 years of my life. And then that age hits you and you're like, okay, my metabolism is not as fast as anymore. So I have to actively look for ways to motivate myself. So you're right. Like, first of all, finding what you enjoy and what time of the day you can do it, and, introduce it in smaller, small amounts of like what you can do, like 10 minutes maybe every day is more effective than doing the 30 minutes, 40 minutes every 3-4 times.
Yeah, this connection is a little bit bad.
That's fine. I can hear you.
But hopefully it will get better.
Yes.
So, but what I was thinking as well is I would kind of think about the especially not any kind of a negative talk around yourself, not anything to. It's like now it's all over the newspapers and everywhere about the how to get basically how to punish yourself through what you ate during the holidays. yourself in a shape. And I would try to stop that completely. I mean, everyone's entitled to have a holiday, enjoy themselves, and eat something. And then you can slowly start adding small good things into your daily schedule when this starts. But it's not about through negative self-talk. So when you are putting, for example, these schedules to the diary for yourself to do some workouts, I would think about, try to approach it more in a way that it's like a meeting with yourself. You know, you have these meetings, Zoom meetings or whatever throughout the day with work basis. This is through any kind of a negative talk or punishment.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I see what you mean. And also, I think the mindset, whether it's very negative, like, oh my God, I've had so much to eat in the holidays, I haven't done much workout, so now I need to be like doing something, like feeling literally guilty about it, which doesn't help, right?
Yeah.
For doing exercise and to motivate yourself, you need to have a positive mindset. So yeah, I absolutely agree with that. You're
yeah. And also not to do workout because of what you ate or what you did not do. It's just to do it because it makes you feel good, and somehow because it's somehow, I mean, I do enjoy. I'm aware of the fact that not everyone enjoys sports and not everyone enjoys. But I'm sure there's something that everyone enjoys. You know, going for a walk in the forest or just being by yourself or being in the nature or something. It doesn't have to be anything more than that.
Yeah. And also, I believe like some people enjoy dancing, for example. That could be, another kind of a workout, even if you did like 10 minutes of it every day, kind of, gets your heart racing. So I think, it's really about finding what you enjoy. And personally, I am an example because I just did not like going to the gyms at all. Then I started very slowly in the lockdown, actually. And that's because I started slowly, first thing in the morning. Well, it's hard sometimes in the winter, to get up that early. But at least, when I was in the gym, I've had that feeling like that I felt really good because when I had my music on, that really motivated me. I liked to have my music on. And actually, when I was home, I would hang on to that feeling and think, oh, that felt amazing. I want to go again. So, whatever you enjoy.
It's kind of addictive. Yeah, definitely. It is. And because if you can surround yourself with those type of things, the music is a big factor. And also, I mean, you don't have to do also, now I've been talking only about doing it by yourself, but of course you can get your family involved as well. You know, you can dance with the kids and you can do all sorts of animal walks, whatever with the kids. And those are really, really effective. So, there's so many opportunities, but you just have to find something that you enjoy, definitely.
So the next question I had was from someone, is it correct that you could lose weight on certain parts? Let's say if I say I want to lose weight on my arms or my tummy, or, is that possible? Or when you do follow a routine or a program, you actually going to lose weight everywhere?
Yeah, so we're talking about targeted weight loss in here. So unfortunately, there's not much evidence to back that up. So it's not, no. I mean, I do know that it's there are some advertisement or courses even or workshops that are based on this idea, but there's not much of an evidence that it would go that way. You just can't control where the fat comes from. So when you're using fat as a fuel, when you do workouts, it comes from anywhere. And it doesn't have so much to do with even your natural body shape. It's more about your metabolism, your hormonal state, and, and then obviously also with your genetics. So unfortunately not.
Okay,
so
makes sense.
It just comes from, like with overall, it comes everywhere. And then also, I think that the thing is that people can normally, where you put weight first, like if you gain weight, where it comes first, that's where it normally comes also first off. So that, but that's also it's very, very individual. So you can't say that this workout would work the same way for everyone. So just to do total body workouts and so eventually
Yeah.
you will benefit.
Perfect. And then next question I have is, are there any specific types of workouts that you think are useful for women with hormonal imbalances? Because, you know, women who have hormonal imbalances like PCOS, for example, they tend to put on weight as a side effect of what's going on with their bodies. Is there a way to specifically target that?
No, I don't think so. I'm not aware of it. This is some kind of one area where I'm not like an expert in, so I don't know so much. I mean, I know about hormonal imbalances, but I don't know so much about this PCOS, how it works. But as far as I can understand it, it's not. It's more about doing. Just the exercise helps, obviously. In many ways, it also helps with the other symptoms, not only the weight gain, but also with your mental states and all of that. But there's not anything specific. The main thing is just to try to find something that you enjoy doing, so that you enjoy doing it regularly. So somehow to try to find something that suits you, and that's very individual. So not anything specific. Yeah,
I guess it's more about nutritional interventions and trying to tackle with the imbalances itself, and plus adding exercise onto it, which can in totality, like together, help.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. So with exercise wise, not nutrition is a completely different area, and I think that you can probably it has much more impact in hormonal imbalances, but I'm not an expert in that area either, but there's a lot of information about that definitely out there. But when it comes to exercises, just find something that you want to do.
And probably the same goes out to losing post-pregnancy weight, I guess. What would you say?
Well, yes, definitely. The main thing which I would focus on when you're trying to lose weight after having babies, well, first of all, of course, breastfeeding always helps, but not everyone is capable of doing that. But it's more yourself. You don't want to feel any more tired than you already do feel. To somehow find some kind of a nutrition. You need good nutrition, obviously, because you need to be able to have that energy to take care of the baby and at the same time take care of yourself. So eat properly, good food, more good stuff, so you don't have that much space for the so-called I don't think that there's so-called bad stuff, but the kind of the things that you already know that you should not be, eating too much anyway. But I would kind of try to plan that as well, because I know what it's like. It can be so hectic and tiring that try to make, for example, some good snacks for yourself, and whenever you have that time or space, that just to prepare in advance that you have nuts, you have energy bars or something that stage when you just need to grab something, that you have something good to grab on, and I mean, I've heard people, for example, using freezers, putting bananas in the freezers and putting almost like different kind of fruits or anything in the freezer, that it's like completely different, just to have a snack when you need it. But when it comes to fitness or doing exercises, I'd say that it is the same thing. And obviously you have to be aware of the fact that whether you have whether your abs are back, whether you still have the gap between the abs, how does that work? Because that's going to kind of interfere with what kind of exercises you can do. And if you still need to work on that, then you need to do specific exercises for that. But it works the same way anyways. Otherwise, and then it's also like, if you are breastfeeding, then when you stop that, then it's also going to be a different state, hormonal state, and also physically. Some people only start losing weight after they stop breastfeeding, for example, and some people, it goes the vice versa, that then they start putting on weight if they continue eating the same way that they used to. So that's also very individual. Sometimes your body just hold on to the weight because you are breastfeeding, so that it kind of feels that you need that to be able to produce milk. So
yeah. And also, I think generally, no, women shouldn't feel like, they need to. I mean, it's something that, individual, right? If people want to get back into shape and, do that, that's fair. But like, people shouldn't feel pressure of like, now losing this
no.
weight. They need to enjoy whatever, the giving the birth and having the baby. And I don't think like women necessarily, in my opinion, should put that pressure on themselves to be like, oh, need to lose this weight like straight away. So I think it's like you said, more about listening to your body, what it's saying, and like really seeing how much you can do. Maybe start with like little things like walks, which is doable, and then slowly build up based on how you feel and how much you think you're able to do, listening to your body really, and not putting the pressure on yourself.
Yeah, I would continue, like, totally approach this whole thing more about not thinking so much about how you look like, but more about how you feel like. That obviously you need to have that energy to take care of the baby, and you want to be able to move and do things with the baby. And if you're feeling sluggish and tired all the time, because of your nutrition, for example, or lack of movement, then it's good to start adding some in. But it's a slow process. If you want to do it efficiently, then it's always a slow process. I'm not a big fan of these fast diets or any kind of what's so much out there, in 21 days you can lose this and this much. I don't believe in those. You're probably going to put in the next 21 days the whole weight back again. But it's just that these yo-yo diets, they just don't work. So that it's more about start implementing to your daily routine a little bit of movement and some more good stuff. What kind of smoothies you like, or what kind of fruits could you get more into, and and it's fun because you can do it also. You need to start doing that for your baby as well, so at the same time start trying things together.
I think it's more like like you explained, it's more like a lifestyle change rather than just going on a diet or doing some sort of a workout for 20 days and that not being sustainable. You're just going to put that weight back on. It's more about lifestyle and making those changes in terms of nutrition, and plus adding exercise and being active to that routine. So that totally agree with that.
And also not to forget about the fact that it's so easy after pregnancy to start fast forward going, that now I want to be back where I was before I got pregnant, and forget about the joy of being pregnant and how it is a miracle that you can carry the baby inside of you. And somehow that if it leaves some kind of a mark on you, you should be proud of that. And not trying to punish yourself for it, or try to get rid of it as fast as you can, that you got that baby in there. So
no, that's really, really great. That's really really important. And I think we slightly discussed this, but it says that if someone wants to do 10 minutes workouts every day, what should they focus on each day, and for how many days in a row to do the same set or circuits for them to be effective? So let's say, somebody's trying to introduce these small, short workouts each day. And like, let's say they're following a certain circuit of like, I don't know, doing 20 push-ups and 20 sit-ups or 15 squats, let's say. Is it, I mean, if they carry on doing that for a certain number of days, or for example, 7 days, or I don't know, 10 days, do they stop being effective, or do you have to keep changing that?
Well, they don't stop being effective, but they could be more effective. Let's say that. For first of all, there was I think the question was also in the beginning somehow that what should you do? Well, that depends what you want to achieve. Obviously, there's not. If you want to, get more strength in the legs or upper body, or if you want to, do some core work or anything. So that depends what you want. But when it comes to any kind of workouts, obviously your body adapts pretty quickly, and this is what this question is about. So, for example, if I make a gym program for a person, I would like it to be so that if you go, for example, 3 times a week, that every single time something changes. It might be, one rep more, or it might be a little bit different the workout, or adding more weight obviously is the easiest thing with the weight training. But that there's a little bit of a change. So if you are doing some kind of a, let's say, like ab workout, for example, you have 4 different movements, 15 reps of each. So you can maybe do that for 2-3 days, the same, but then I would probably change the movements for a little bit, because there is so many movements out there. There's not only one ab movement that is beyond everything. So, there's so many. So that I wouldn't just try to plank it for hours and hours on end.
Absolutely.
Well, first of all, I don't believe that you can do a good plank for that long anyway, unless you're really, really good. So that you're going to start sacking somewhere at some point. But but what I mean is that I would probably do something so that your body doesn't adapt so quickly. But at least every 3rd time, I would probably change something and maybe do it. If you want to do the same sets for a while, then you could maybe do it for twice or 3 times exactly the same. Then I would probably add a little bit of reps, and eventually after 2 weeks, or maybe not even 2 weeks, 3 weeks, after 3 weeks, then I would change the movement somehow. If you want to do leg work, you can do 1 leg deadlifts or 2 leg deadlifts with water bottles or books, or even like fill your bag with books or something heavy and just lift that, and then do squats or 1 leg squats, or lunges, or there's so many things that you can do with the body weight training, or just burpees or anything. So I would probably try to keep a little bit of change, because it's the same. It's the biggest problem with the people even going to the gym, that if they, once they have a personal trainer that makes them a program, that's what they're going to be doing for the next 20-30 years. And it's, unfortunately, I mean, it's not a waste of time completely, but it could be a lot more efficient if they would change something.
Absolutely. Okay. And then to end, the last question that I have is, would you be able to think of an example where, you saw somebody, who either hadn't been doing exercise, or like started at a point where they weren't so motivated, and then they ended up like, you worked with them and they ended up like being in a position where, they saw the results, or, there was a massive transformation in the mindset, and also like how, it affected their body like in a positive way. Could you think of anything?
Any person, or you mean? Well, yes, I have met people like that, definitely. And or I've had, for example, some of my own clients have been so that they've been doing some sorts of sports, but their mind has been a little bit more not so open to different options of what they can do, that they've used to doing something in their youth, like dancing or some type of yoga, and then they started to after having kids, they started to continue that, but it hasn't felt for them so right anymore, or somehow that they try to push it, but it hasn't felt so good anymore. But they're trying to like really grab onto that, because it used to be different. And unfortunately, we also change. You have to sometimes accept that maybe it's not going to be the same anymore, and maybe you can just look beyond the box for a little bit. What else could you do? And then these people have found, completely different kind of a world of sports that they've started to do. For example, this person started to do cycling and really like a big marathons, and she's really into it at the moment. So, and now she wants to go swimming lessons. She started to do body weight training and even do a PT course herself. So that from coming from a place where she'd just been doing dancing and a little bit of this and that, but couldn't really find. So once you start to open up to the possibilities, whatever everyone has, then it can be just mind-blowing, because there's just not enough time to do everything that you would like to do anymore. So
Yeah, that's
that
true.
becomes more of a problem.
Yeah.
But also I've had clients who, for example, hated gym, that they just didn't feel comfortable. And this is a man, for example, a client who just didn't like the idea of going to the gym. He didn't feel there at home at all, but he felt like at home in the nature. And then, so that's what we started. We started to train a little bit in the gym, just with the body weights first. And now, because of the COVID times, I've been training with him outside, which is like his second home. He really enjoys being in the nature. So that's what we started. And it's December in Finland. It's dark in the mornings when we go to the beach to train, but still he really enjoys it now. And it's become like a routine. And so that there are, you know, you don't have to always follow the pattern, what everyone else is following, that, you know, there's lots of possibilities.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, like you mentioned, swimming is another very good exercise, right? And you know, if people don't know, if they don't, you know, they haven't been swimming, or they don't know, they haven't been taught, so you know, it's never you know, too late. Or because I personally learned swimming very late. I'm not still a very good swimmer, but like if you can get into that routine, that's amazing exercise, right? So you know, that's really about finding what you want to do and what you enjoy.
And I mean, it comes also to the point that, for example, if you don't enjoy running or swimming or things like that, if you give it a go, so that you actually ask somebody to teach you a little bit of the technique, and once you start learning that, it becomes a whole different manner. It somehow, like, you know, it opens up so many doors that sometimes it is beneficial to actually get a little bit of guidance and help for it as well. That once you learn the technique, then it's completely different. I myself, I'm not much of a swimmer, but I used to take classes, and I actually started to enjoy it, which was for me a big thing, because I've always been thinking that I'm never going to like swimming, really. I'm just more of a floating in the water type.
Yeah, no, it's true. And you know, it is really about knowing ourselves kind of more, and knowing our bodies more. And if you haven't tried something in the past, doesn't mean, like, you know, at least we can give it a go and see if we like it. And if we like it, that's great. If you don't, then, you know, that's absolutely fine too, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much, Minna, for your time today. It's been great.
Thank you. Yeah, you too.
And I will probably come back to you if some people have any you know, follow-up questions, and we can maybe do another session to see how it goes. But yeah, thank you so much. I learned so much today, and I'm really looking forward to sharing this with everybody else. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye-bye. You too. Bye-bye.